Okay, so God's really working on my love walk and my obedience walk. So what does that look like? Okay, so the other day I get up and I say, okay, God, what have you got for me today? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to pray for someone, or is there anything that you want me to do? Anyway, so he says to me he wants me to go to town. So I live just on the edge of town. I was living in a unit at the time, so got on my push bike and rode into town, probably about a 15-minute ride. So I get there and I think, okay, so I'm here, I'm in town. What next? I'm not feeling like he's saying anything. So I brought the last money that we had for the week to do some groceries. And the other thing that I thought I could do while I was in there was go to the post office and get the mail. So I thought I'd do that. So I rode to the post office and I went over to the post office box and opened it up to get the mail. And it was empty. So I thought, oh, okay, so it's empty. So I closed it up and turned around and pushed my bike over and just thought, what's this all about? And instantly I get this feeling. God says to me, turn around. So I turn around. He said, see that guy over there? There was a young Aboriginal guy sitting on a seat just at the post office, and he said, see that guy over there? He feels like your post office box. And I thought, empty, He said, God said to me, I want you to go over and tell him what I think of him. And I was like, okay, more information. And he says to me, I'll tell you when you get there. And then he said to me, and that money you brought in for your groceries, I want you to give that to him too. Okay, well, what am I going to do about the groceries anyway? So I push my bike over and I sit down next to him on the bench and I said, hey, introduced myself and said, God's asked me to come over here and tell you what he thinks of you. And he looks at me, a bit funny. Anyway, I just started to say all this stuff to him, just really, just loving. I could just feel God's love starting to pour out, how much he loved this guy. Just told him how much God loved him and just the man that God had created him to be. And I was just completely blown apart. I just got to experience the love that God had for this guy. Just completely tore me apart on the inside, and he started crying and I started crying, and we're sitting there at the front of the post office, both with tears in our eyes, and then I just kind of felt like there wasn't anything left to say, and I just reached out and said, and God's also asked me to give you this. And I gave him the money, and he just looked in his hand and he didn't know what to do. Like, he was just completely like, whoa, like God would send you to tell me all this stuff, and then he would tell you to give me this, and he just didn't know what to do, and I didn't know what to do. I was so blown apart from the inside just with how much God loved this guy. It was like, I just thought, who cares about the groceries? Like, seriously, my heart was just totally ripped out, just with how God had used me to just be a vessel of his love to speak into this guy's life. And anyway, I was kind of like really awkward at the end. I was so overwhelmed that I didn't really even know what to say. I kind of just said, hey, well, see ya. And I just jumped on my bike and I was just like power riding, just like, oh my goodness, like, God, what was that? Like, just totally ripped me apart from the insides. And I guess I just really got a revelation about how he wants to use us to share with one another just how much he loves us. And it's not just the person that's receiving that, it's also the person that's giving, because I was totally blown apart in being the vessel that got to share that love with this guy. Yeah, it's just amazing. Like, who can't do that?